What's going on, family? It is your boy, JT Jonathan Tarver, the Corporatepreneur, and you are now listening to the Corporatepreneur podcast, right? And man, I got a very, very special guest here today. Hey, I'm elated, I'm honored. This is about to be this is gonna go viral, right? You know, this one is about to go viral. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Brother Umar Clark here, aka the Bureau Bully, right? And he's gonna be joining us today, just dropping some bombs, man, like about this credit, this debt, the financial literacy space. And I can't wait to get into it, right? So, but before we get going completely, man, Brother Umar, go ahead, introduce yourself, man. Tell the people who you are, a little bit about yourself, background.
First and foremost, honored to be here, bro. Peace and love, peace and love. My name is Umar Clark. The background, I know you asked me where I was from, and I say everywhere.
Gotcha, right?
But my mother was traveling to see my grandfather when she was 6 months pregnant. She stopped in Montgomery, Alabama, and went into labor. And when she went into labor, the doctor said, okay, you're gonna die, right? Then she says, all right, you'll live, but he'll die. Then she said, okay, guess what? Both of y'all gonna die. Right, she said, okay, all right, he'll be born, but he'll never be able to walk, and he may live 3 or 4 years. So she gives birth. I was perfectly fine. I had to be on I guess they call it a ventilator or something. I was on a ventilator for about a week, but after that, I was fine. So, you know, moments like that are the reason why I don't believe in odds. So you see the things we're able to do now is because I just don't believe in them. You know, another situation where I seen a miracle where I realized that odds don't exist is May 1st, my baby brother was pronounced dead. But he's here now. You know what I mean? So he had a collapsed lung, all his teeth missing, a car was on his chest. They told us he was gone. God had other plans. So, you know, when you look at the work we do now and everything we do, it's only because, you know, I know there's a higher power pushing what we got going on.
Absolutely, bro. I love that, man. The story of odds don't exist, man. And you make me even just think about when I was having my first son, man. We had some complications, you know, during that pregnancy. And they were saying, hey, well, you know what? The baby probably not going to make it. He's probably going to have all these different ailments. He's missing a chromosome. We did a amniocentesis. It's when they do like a kind of like a spinal tap. They check the amniotic fluid and all of that. But, you know, praise be to God, my son is here. He's healthy. Hit all the milestones.
It's so deep, bro, because, you know, you look at educated people and doctors and stuff. They relish in moments where they can tell you what's missing. But they never tell you what's there. God is there.
Man, bro, right? Drop a bomb on me one time. Come on, man. Oh, man, that's powerful, man.
You know, those moments, bro, they're designed. You know, they're designed to show you that there's a higher power in your favor. That's just what they're designed for. You know, you look at every hard moment, and when it's over and you laugh about it later, you just wish you were more patient. Every single time. Patience is the sweetener of life.
Bro, this is man. This is, man. It's going viral. Okay, it's going viral. So, moving on a little bit, man. I want to talk a little bit about the crusade, right? You know how that's how I reference it, man. You got a name like the Bureau Bully, like that's a hell of a name. You know, so you bully and bureau, like what is? Tell me a little bit about that. The name, the Bureau Bully, and what exactly do you do?
You know, growing up, we caught a lot of hell as a result of these corporations. They bullied us. When I say Bureau Bully, I'm not just talking about consumer reporting agencies, because Consumer Report Bully didn't sound cool. But we know them as bureaus. They're not bureaus, but that's what we know them as. So I just played on words. Since I was a kid, anytime I was in trouble, it was for bullying bullies. I never liked people who picked on others. So when I look at the hell that we caught from our home getting foreclosed on, how debt destroyed my family, all kind of things, you know, I didn't, you know, you go through dark moments. God's so selfless, right, that I can go through a dark moment. So when it's your turn to go through it, I can tell you how to get out. So, you know, I caught hell as a result of debt and all these different situations. So, you know, that's what the Bureau Bullies is designed for. And, you know, I'm not, you know, I said Bureau Bullies. I didn't say Bureau Bully. And that's because anybody who's willing to step up and help our people is a Bureau Bully. They're with me. You know, I'm with whoever's with me.
Absolutely, bro. That's powerful, man. I need a Bureau Bully shirt. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do my part, you know. That's awesome, bro. And so this crusade, right? Talked about is bigger than the Consumer Reporting Agency, right? Talk to me a little bit about, specifically what this fight is against, right? Or what it is that you're trying to educate, people on. Well, on this crusade, I know we talked earlier today about, debt and credit, right? Can you break those two terms down, a little bit for the people kind of tuning in and listening?
For sure. So if you look under the Truth in Lending Act, you look at the definition of credit. Well, the first thing I want you to realize is how Congress gives it a positive connotation. Now, remember, when we talk about attorneys and politicians, they're not masters of law, they're masters of words. So you don't use words by mistake, right? They say credit is the right granted by a creditor to a debtor, right? So let's go back to the beginning. It says right. So everybody loves rights. The biggest fight on our planet is about rights. Now let's look how they define debt 10 years later. They say debt is an obligation. Nobody likes to be obliged to do anything. So think of the things when you were a child, you were forced to, you never enjoyed it. But when you had a right to go in the freezer and get ice cream, you like that. Right? Now let's look at credit and debt. When you have credit, you're happy. But when a bill comes in the mail for debt, nobody likes it.
Right.
It's not natural. So we were doing a documentary and a girl said that she could remember her mother catching anxiety attacks opening the mailbox. Bills. And that same girl, as a result of that situation, she had to leave the house at 12. So she was touched. She's selling drugs, all kind of stuff. This is the hell we've caught as a result of debt. Because we don't know the difference between debt and credit. And there's a reason they blurred the lines. If you look at a tool, right? So let's say one of the biggest doors to destruction is to give a person tools, but never educate them on how to use them. So think if I gave you a hammer and told you to put a nail in the wall, you used the wrong side, you destroy the wall, right? And that's what we're looking at. And one of the things I ask inner city children, I say, like a kid told me one time, and this is the motivation behind us coming to Chicago. He said that a white guy sold him a gun for $25. Now, a clear sign that's by design, even the worst gun, a high point, is worth more than $25. So that was by design. So I asked people, are guns powerful? Right? Most people say yes, maybe. But when I look at this system, they don't give us anything that's powerful, so why do they give you guns? Right? There's a few things you'll see in our communities when they want to destroy you. Guns, drugs, and debt. Right?
Destroying a community. Wow. Guns, drugs.
It's this. You go through every community. And they brainwash us so much that the new standard of wealth is who can validate the most debt. So you pull your Instagram up and look how many people are on there telling you how much they owe. Nobody's actually showing you ownership. It's just saying, I owe this, I owe that, and then we've called that wealth now. So let's look at that. When you can program a human being to see something bad as positive, or they associate positive situations with something negative, it's Stockholm Syndrome.
Wow.
Right? That's what that is.
Wow. Embracing the oppressed. Wow. So let's pause, man. Like that was a heavy bar. I don't know if people, caught that. Let's go back to that. So you talked about validating debt, right? You say people are on social media, Instagram, and they're validating this debt. They're saying that they owe it, right? It's theirs, it's mine. So if people can validate debt, can they also unvalidate debt as well?
For sure. So the word "or," when Congress wants to show power, they use the word "or," and in my opinion, the word "or" is the most powerful word in the English language because it's a show of power. So if you go to a restaurant and you sit down, they say, "JT, you want tea or coffee?" You can choose one, or you can go with both. So when Congress talks about debt, they say it's an obligation or alleged obligation, a show of power. So the same people validate debts, they can also refuse to pay. Now, am I telling people to do that? No, because people will run with that. Continue to pay till you understand, but if you look at how our counterparts talk about, the reason why my new mission is to separate credit from debt is when you listen to elites and the powerful talk about credit, I heard them say, if you have credit, you shouldn't have debt.
Credit, you shouldn't have debt.
So in our community, if you say the word credit, everybody automatically thinks debt. They'll still tell it to you, and that's on purpose. Or so you have people who have credit when they have debt. You have people who have debt and they think they have credit.
Wow.
But a creditor never has debt.
Wow. So a creditor never has debt. All right. So me as a consumer, I have the ability to validate or to not validate, right? This alleged obligation.
Bingo.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about like laws and protections. Okay. So like what types of laws are in place, maybe around, credit or debt? Like what does that look like from a legal standpoint? If I ain't validating that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So powerful question too, bro. Let's look at proof that a debt collector can't validate a debt is 15 USC 1692 GC. It's called admission of liability, and it says that no court can construe a consumer's failure to dispute the validity of a debt as admission. So meaning the court can't even say you owe it if you say you don't owe it. So if a judge can't say you owe it, nobody else can say you owe it. Wow. Right? Now there are laws in place to protect credit, but there's not one law in place to protect debt. In fact, the law that's in place for debt is to protect you from debt.
Wait a minute. It's a law in place to protect me from debt.
Bingo. And let's look at what they say. If you look, every law has a section called Congressional Findings, meaning why this is here. They started off talking about debt is, number one, is deceit. But on top of that, it's one of the biggest costs of marital instability and bankruptcy. So now look at our community. What have you seen? Marital instability, bankruptcy. That means you've been deceived, right? The debt is everybody's born with credit, but somehow we all die with debt. It's not normal.
So wait a minute, bro. This is rewind. You got to rewind this, okay? And you got to take notes, man, and understand your power, okay? Like I know you're not gonna get it all in one sitting. I gotta be quite honest. I consider myself a financial literacy educator, and I'm still learning, right? I'm still pulling back the layers of the onion to truly understand my rights as a consumer, right? Understanding credit, versus debt. Understanding my power to validate or to not validate, debt, right? Understanding that, man, I have unlimited credit, essentially. You know what I'm saying? When you know and understand the laws and your power, man. So, bro, this is powerful stuff. Now, like I said, I started following you, recently. I can't lie and just say, oh yeah, man, I knew it. I'm learning like y'all, right? But that's the beautiful thing about the journey, and that's why I really appreciate Brother Umar's crusade, and just bringing this to the community and just educating us, man. So just kind of moving along, right? So what are some things, right? So people out there, they're listening, they're looking at this for the first time, and they probably like, man, okay, like, well, what can I do? What are some things that I need to be doing to fully understand my power, to truly understand how I can take this information that's being shared and make it, applicable in my life? What are some things that I could be doing after watching this?
Scroll to the bottom of the Instagram page and study your way up. Fact check everything on it. Don't take anything I say and just run with it. Fact check everything. And once you understand what credit is, you're going to realize credit is literally your life. So when we talk about learning your rights, you're just learning how to protect your life. That's what credit is. In the United States, credit is life. Debt is death.
Credit is life.
Debt is death. Yep.
Bro, that's...
So every natural person has the opportunity to choose between life and death. So, when I look at like my grandparents, they had a choice, life or death. In our time, it's life or debt.
Life or death. Life or debt. And then you also talked about, you talked about the language that people use, right?
Right.
I ain't trying to preach to nobody. Power and life and death is in the tongue, but the language that you use
Right.
as it pertains to the law, man, you better. Man. Okay. So absolutely. So as he mentioned, you definitely want to make sure you are tapped in to the Bureau Bullies page on Instagram, and like he said, go to the page, study from the bottom, from the bottom down all the way up. Now you do also have some resources available if people did want to tap in. You want to talk about some of the other resources you have as well?
So we do sell books, but that's not something that I push. Okay. Because I'd be a hypocrite to say you need a book. I didn't have a book when I studied. So, I tell you all the time, if you weren't born with it, the Most High designed us and gave us everything we needed the moment we touched this earth. You weren't born with a bank account because you didn't need it. You weren't born with a book because you didn't need it. Right? Everything you need, you came here with. So you came fully equipped with everything we need. So I'd be a lying hypocrite. I say, you need this book. But they are available if you feel like it's something you may need to help you along the way. But don't think that's what you need to do what you need to do.
Absolutely. And we talked about the, I guess, credit education space, right?
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about that. So if you're listening in here, right, you got people out there. I know I personally have some credit education materials. I got a credit playbook out there. You all can tap into that so you can understand some of the basics and the fundamentals of credit. But for people kind of listening in, right? Those different education materials, particularly when you understand the law, right? Can you talk to me a little bit about the significance of understanding the law and how they can maybe optimize that based on their situation?
So first you understand law is a language within a language. So you have one word. Let's say the word debt. That one word will have 3 different definitions in 3 different dictionaries. That doesn't even make sense. How does one word have 3 different definitions? What's being said is they have a definition they want you to know. There's a definition they teach their children. Right? So the main thing is you have to learn their language of their game and play it their way. That's the main thing. It's not an overnight thing, it's an over life thing. So you find some people, they go down the rabbit hole and it's like, I gotta learn this all one night. It just doesn't work like that. You'll go insane. So, you can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. So you sit. For me, I'm kind of slow, so I have to literally learn one word at a time. And the powerful thing about that was, like, if you look at our education system, when they indoctrinate us, I hate to say education, they indoctrinate us, they make you learn sentences and paragraphs. That's how you teach a slave. But a free man knows that each word is its own action. Right? So when you're reading, you need to break down each word by itself. Because each word is saying something in its own right. So that's the main thing when you're studying.
Bro, that's a bar. Like, that's a bar. And with that, man, we're gonna wrap this thing up, man. I just want to say, man, I hope you all are taking notes. I please encourage you to share this out, rewatch this, do whatever you need to do to truly tap in and understand your power as a consumer, right? The ability to validate or not validate debt. Man, this is heavy stuff, man. Unlearning and relearning, it's a process, it's a journey, and I'm embarking on it with you all as well, right? But I really just want to say, thank you to Brother Umar for your time today, just to kind of share with us and bring this information. Man, we met earlier today at a philanthropy event, just kind of giving back to the community, and I pulled up on him here at the hotel to shoot this, tonight, man. We up late, getting it in, bringing this knowledge to the people. So I really want to say I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, bro.
For that. And make sure you all please follow the Bureau Bullies, right, on Instagram. Stay tuned, stay tapped in with him. And with that being said, y'all, this is your boy JT Jonathan Tarver. I am the host of the Corporatepreneur podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. And yeah, man, be blessed. And until next time,
peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love.